Welcome to the Anywhere Classroom Series, Episode 3. Today, we're going to take great nature shots on a photo safari with the Olympus OMD. We're here with Jay Dickman, a National Geographic photographer and Olympus visionary. Jay shoots in some of the most remote locations on Earth. Let's get started.
Thanks, Becky. I'm out here in nature, one of my favorite places to be to photograph. I think photographers by nature are curious critters. I can't tell you how many roads I've driven down that I'm just looking over the next hill thinking, oh, if I just drive over that next one, the light's going to change. The light's going to be better. The panorama is going to open up. The photographer has to find the image, and that requires footsteps often. It's a voyage of discovery, which is what I love about this craft. What we're doing with a camera is a very similar thing to what a writer does with a pen, and that's we're creating a narrative. We happen to deal with visual narrative. And whether shooting for a National Geographic story or photographing your own vacation, I think there's 5 components of your story that you should address as a photographer. We have to create a sense of place for our audience. Your audience doesn't know how magnificent this place is. You have to convey that through a photograph. Introducing our cast of characters. Introduce detail. The next component is moment. Moment's huge in this. Moment brings the energy and the power into your body of work. Then you have to close your story out. It's the obvious one of the sun setting of 2 people walking on the beach at the end of the day. So you're kind of taking the viewer by the eyeballs and saying, look at this big space. Now get in close, look at this. Really forces your audience to engage with a part of the world that they may not have been familiar with. And I think our job is to put into our bag we carry into the field the equipment that is going to be able to work for us to capture all those different images that make themselves available to us. Portability is huge with me because I'm not only carrying camera equipment, I'm carrying water, some food, other gear with me that when I'm in the back country, I can be kind of self-supportive. So it's incredibly important to me to have compactness and in addition to that incredibly high quality that the Olympus OMD EM1 system does give me. I work with 2 bodies. The lens selection is light enough that I can put it all together in my backpack. I'm going to use my standard, my 12 to 40. I love that lens. That's my go-to lens. I'll also use a 9 to 18, which gives me that really, really wide look. And I'll carry the 50 to 200 as well. This gives me a really broad range from a pretty darned wide angle out to a telephoto that's good if that wildlife jumps in front of me all of a sudden. And I'll also carry a macro lens for those opportunities to get really close and personal with the vegetation. Photography is a journey of discovery. The light's changing constantly, the foreground is changing, the birds flying through, the trees growing, nothing is ever the same. So our job as a photographer is to find the image, find the magic in that scene, watch the edges of your frame, build the image so that when you shoot, everything in that viewfinder is relevant to your image. It's so easy when something really is exciting going on to zone it into the middle, put it into the middle. But that's above all the time for photographers to think, okay, I'm going to grab that great moment, then start thinking about compositional rules, rules of thirds. We like asymmetry. Sometimes I think the best thing that can happen to a photographer is to get off the beaten track and get lost because some magic, marvelous things can happen to you when that happens. One of the great benefits of the OMD EM1 is its capability of going up to 10 frames per second on burst mode. What I love about that is when I'm photographing the horses running or the deer running, that I can put the camera to my eye, press the shutter, and it's capturing every pulse of that action as it goes by you. I'll give you another photographer's hint here. It's a great idea if you're photographing low-light portraits, put the camera in burst mode too, because when you shoot that first frame, the camera's going to jiggle a little bit, and you go, you get that 3rd, 4th, 5th frame, the camera's settled down by that point, you add that with the image stabilization, your 2nd, 3rd, 4th frames are going to be sharp as a tack. I really hope you get out there and enjoy this. This is an amazing craft. We've spoken of things technical, we've spoken of equipment, we've spoken about ideas on how to improve your photography, but it really comes down to just going out there and shooting and enjoying it. So get out there, pick up that OMD, get out there and take pictures and enjoy.
To learn more about what you can do with the Olympus OMD series, Visit getolympus.com/anywhereclassroom.